Thank you very much, guys. Good morning, brothers. All right, as Paul had said, my name is Alex Franki. I am a past chairman of the Alpha Phi Delta Foundation. I'm currently serving in the capacity of secretary of the foundation, and it's my privilege to talk to you a little bit more about the foundation this morning. So we have a few slides to go over, but I just wanted to talk to you about when I was an undergraduate. I was president of the chapter at Fordham University right here in New York City. That chapter existed for about 7 or 8 years. It was a tough competitive environment. The Jesuits didn't love us to be there. Recruiting was always a challenge, and it's no longer active. So when I graduated, I wanted to make sure that I stay involved in the fraternity, so I've been a longtime member of the New York Alumni Club, and I encourage everyone here, the pathway for brotherhood continues from your undergraduate chapters to alumni associations, to alumni clubs, maybe even national service. Well, after serving on the foundation, serving my chapter for several years, serving my alumni club for many years, and still an active member of that, I wanted to continue to contribute, and I found out a little bit more about the foundation. The foundation wasn't really a big thing when I was an undergraduate. The world was a different place. We didn't have insurance for liability purposes. Our expenditures were a lot less than they are right now. There's a lot of things that you guys contend with now that we didn't have to deal with when I pledged and crossed in November of 1990. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate the leaders being here. But the foundation wants to help, okay? Now, how can we help? Is we want to make sure that our fraternity, which this year is, I guess, 110 years old, thereabouts, we want to make sure that it lasts for another 100 years. So we're the financial arm, we're the backing, we're the ones that raise the money, that have some programs to aid the national fraternity, and one of the programs that we're seeing is here today. So I thank you for your time. I encourage you guys to learn more after this. This is just going to be a brief introduction. So are you controlling? Wonderful. Let's take a look. What is the Alpha Phi Delta Foundation? The foundation was founded in 1981 as an IRS-recognized charitable organization. It's technically a 501c3 organization. It means that anybody who donates to the Alpha Phi Delta Foundation, it's potentially a tax-deductible contribution. As long as those contributions, those monies are used in some sort of educational or philanthropic way themselves. We can't just take money and give it to the national fraternity for some erroneous purposes. It has to be educational in nature, hence why we support the leadership. We raise over $250,000 annually. In fact, 2 years ago, we had our best year ever. We raised over $300,000, which is stupendous, because when I took over the foundation in 2007, the prior year, I think we raised less than $10,000. It's like a hockey stick as far as our participation from our alumni brothers. You can imagine there might be less than 1,000 undergraduates, but there's close to 20,000 living alumni in our fraternity, and we want to capitalize upon that. So founded in '81, raising over $300,000 a year. Our endowment recently passed $3.5 million. There's several different funds that they're in. The largest fund is the scholarship fund, and every year we highlight our impact in what we call the impact report. We print this out, we give it out at the summer convention, we mail it to our benefactors, which are mostly brothers, but they're also family members. We have a lot of widows that continue to donate to Alpha Phi Delta after their husband has passed many years ago, which is great. But we also put this online, so you can go take a look at that. Now, I'm curious, maybe you guys are familiar with the foundation in terms of our scholarship. Last year, did anybody win a scholarship from Alpha Phi Delta? I see some hands going up. Did anybody apply for a scholarship and not get it? Okay. Well, I encourage you to apply again. The application is going to be online and available probably within a month. And chapter presidents, this is a great opportunity for you, and I'll mention it again when the slide comes up. Encourage every member of your chapter to apply. Let the trustees decide whether or not you're going to get money, right? The bottom award is $500. Typically, the top ray is $5,000. This year, we raised extra money, and we're experimenting with something new called Scholarship Elevate. The top scholarship this year is actually going to be $10,000, okay? Totally worth 15 minutes of your time to apply. Would you guys agree? By the way, if you have other members of your family, they can apply as well because they know you. That's some of the benefits of membership. Chapter presidents, why this is important, because come the fall, you guys are going to have to cut a check to national to support our fraternity. It's nice to know that your chapter brothers are receiving a lot of money from the foundation before we go back and ask them to pay their dues, okay? So now, let's take a look. Less than 1% of nonprofits achieve the Platinum Seal of Transparency. You see this little seal on the right-hand side? That means that we meet certain criteria and we've been judged to be one of the top scholarships that are out there, top charitable organizations that are out there. We fund annual leadership conferences. As Paul had mentioned, we have the Western leadership, we have the Eastern leadership. We even do things for our brothers in Colorado and Florida as well. We want to help to raise young men of character. Scholarships. Last year, I think the number was 87, but it's over 85 scholarships. Our 1,000th was awarded in 2019. There's a lot of brothers that are 40 and 50 and 60-year-old men that received scholarships back in the 1980s that have an affinity for our fraternity. The Kleos, the official magazine of Alpha Phi Delta, produced typically twice or 3 times a year. When I was an undergraduate, that was paid 100% by the fraternity, and if it was paid by the fraternity, guess what? It was funded by the undergraduates. That is no longer a concern of yours, okay? Last year, I don't know the exact number, it's on our impact report, but Paul can probably tell us, I believe the foundation supported the fraternity last year somewhere in the neighborhood of over $60,000. Is that about right? Maybe $60,000 on a budget of probably $250,000, so you could say that a quarter of the fraternity's budget was taken care of by the foundation. That's in addition to the $80,000 that we gave out in scholarships last year. So if you really look at it, it's getting very impactful. Now, we also have, these are our big programs, leadership, scholarship, the Kleos. Those are our first 3. We started APD Cares, grants to brothers and their families in financial distress due to a presidentially declared disaster to help pay for temporary living, property repair, replacement medical, other related costs. What does that mean? When the President of the United States says we feel for our civilians, our citizens in North Carolina, it's a federally disaster zone. Once that's situated, then we can go in there and help brothers if they want to, okay? Now, typically it means the brother's house got flooded, their insurance doesn't pay. They just want someone to know that they care. Now, I'm not telling you that we're going to rebuild some brother's house, but it's nice to know that an organization that we joined 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago, that we're talking to our pledges about how membership in Alpha Phi Delta is eternal, right? This is the type of commitment that we make to them, that if we can cut a check for a couple of grand to a brother, I think that they know that we care. What do you guys think? Right? It's nice. Assisting philanthropic endeavors. This one's a big one for you guys. It's a matching gift program. So when you guys go raise money, chapter presidents, I would encourage you to have a brother that is the person in your chapter that handles the philanthropic efforts, okay? So if you go raise money for the local 501c3, the ASPCA, or something that's legitimate, not like your mom's, you don't want to give money for that, but we want to do something that's a 501c3 that's local to you guys. Could be Relay for Life or whatever, up to $500 a year. If you submit that to the foundation, we will double your request, meaning that we're going to send a check directly to that organization for whatever you raised, okay? So if you raised $100, guess what? Submit the paperwork, you just raised $200. Do you think that would be helpful to go back to the president of your school when they say, how is Alpha Phi Delta helpful on our campus? How does it help Pace University? How does it help Marist? How does it help Manhattan? And say we're good citizens. We're able to do something productive with our time, raise money, and guess what? Last year, we raised $2,100 for cancer, et cetera, et cetera. You guys with me? Alpha Phi Delta, assisting philanthropic endeavors. The last one is the Cultural Heritage Initiative. This is exciting. A lot of our older brothers, they wanted to support this. It specifically helps some of our cultural initiatives, like the articles that are written about our Italian heritage and the Kleos and whatnot. But a new thing that was just founded this past year is our study abroad program in Italy. Does any of you guys know that we have a study abroad program in Italy? Tell the truth. No one knows that. You know that. Okay. So listen, this year, if anybody is going to go, anybody signed up already for next year to do a semester in Italy? Anybody do that? Okay, maybe you should consider it, because if you study abroad in Italy, submit your paperwork to the foundation, and we have scholarships that could reimburse you. I believe there's 3 or 4 of them right now. They're probably about $1,000 each, okay? So we just want to help you guys out. Let's go to the next one, Mitch. So we have 6 different categories. What does the foundation do for undergraduates? Sponsor leadership events. Apply for a scholarship. The deadline is May 31st. Do me a favor. Go to that website when you get a chance. The application's not live yet. It'll be live probably in about 2 or 3 weeks. You could start putting it on your chapter agendas and getting it out to your brothers. Okay? The deadline is May 31st. It's a hard deadline. We do not extend it. You need to submit. It's pretty simple. The application's online. It used to be all on paper. Now you could do it on your phone. You could save it as you go along. So if you get halfway through and you get busy with class or something, you save it, you come back. but you have to upload an official transcript from your school. Now, my son is a brother, Christian Franki. He's down in Delaware. We just chartered him 2 weeks ago. Their school starts very late. They didn't start their spring semester until February 3rd. Their school ends the last week in May. They have to scramble, but what he had all his guys do is submit all the applications online, and then they were all just waiting for the transcripts. You guys follow? So they have 18 brothers down there last year. I think they applied 10 scholarships. I think 8 brothers got scholarships. They got over $6,000. That was a colony last year. It was the number 3 highest paid chapter or colony in APD last semester, and it's not because they're special, it's because they put in the most number of applications, okay? Now, by the way, what's our biggest chapter in this district? I'm guessing Cortland or something? Who's here from Cortland? Anybody? Nobody. How many brothers we have at Marist? 50. Is Marist here? How many brothers you got in your chapter? 55? You should have at least 15 applications. Is that a deal? All right, let's get that done. So now, where was I? Apply for a scholarship. Undergraduate brothers may win multiple times. Available postgraduate students as well. Families, brothers of family. If you have sisters, or God forbid, brothers that are your biological brothers that are not brothers, they could apply as well. Career advice, guidance, networking, and support. We have a Facebook group, APD Cares. I went over, raise money for charities. Okay, this is what you could do for us. We do not get enough photos of you guys. One of the complaints that we get is that our documents are too wordy. There's too much text in here. I would prefer if the entire document was all a story told in pictures. But guess what? To have a story told in pictures, I need pictures. And I'll tell you another thing I told Christian, my son, is if you do it and you don't take a picture, you didn't do it. You guys understand? If you do a charity event, you must take pictures with your colors preferably, okay? It's interesting. Now, I see some guys with colors, but not a lot of guys in colors. We wear our colors all the time. Be proud of those colors, especially when you're doing something good. Take a picture, send it to the foundation, and we'll probably put it on our impact report, which is good because then it lives online. You get to show your school administrators. Let's go forward. I think I have a couple more slides. Okay, APD Cares. I went over that. Ongoing career development, 50-year chapter reunions. We sponsor this. By the way, guys, every summer at the summer convention, we do an AE luncheon, right? AE is Emeritus, Alumnus Emeritus. 50-year-old brothers. So this year we have a new class of AE brothers. There's one in the back there. Hey, Amy, how we doing? Brothers that were inducted in 1975. This is their first year. So they get to come in. We give them a piece of rubber chicken, right? They enjoy. They bring with their wives. We generate some affinity for the group, and we help them out. That's what you guys have to look forward to. We're going to buy you guys some chicken dinners in about 20 years. Now, in a couple of days, there's already some brothers that are down in Florida right now. We do the Sunshine Tour. We sponsor that. So we're doing about 8 or 10 different visits throughout Florida and Georgia and South Carolina. I myself am flying down on Wednesday. I will be attending the Naples luncheon on Thursday and the Pompano luncheon on Sunday. It's all to talk to alumni about Alpha Phi Delta is good and strong, and we're growing, and we need their support. Okay? And you know what they're going to ask me? What are our undergraduates doing? Right? I said, these are fine young men of good caliber with great careers ahead of us, and we're growing strong every single day. They want to know where we're at schools. They also want to know, how's my chapter doing? Sometimes I got to tell them that their chapter closed. We don't have a chapter at Fordham anymore. We don't have a chapter at Temple. We don't have a chapter at Villanova. We don't have a chapter active at Syracuse, but we can. So as you guys grow your own chapters, also be on the lookout for other chapters as well, and we're going to help them, and we're going to talk at the Sunshine Tour about your great works, and we're going to grow this thing together. As I wind down, I think I got 2 more. All right, introduced to the Cultural Heritage Initiative. Okay, did you ever wonder who came before you in your chapter? Okay, all good stuff. We have memorialized the Kleos archives online. You can go back to 1929. If you want to give a pledge assignment, find out when your chapter was founded. Say, in my case, Fordham was founded February 27th of 1987. Find out which national council. It was probably in February or in August. Go find the Kleos. Go find the picture. Hopefully your predecessor 10, 20, 30 years ago took that picture. Give it as a pledge assignment to your undergraduates to go online. It's a way of kind of bringing things together, okay? So let's go to the next one. All our histories are online. Chapter history benefits. Helps recruiting, member education, and alumni relations. Stories, pictures, I went over that. Helps alumni. We want to resonate with alumni that we're doing great works and they want to see it. So all these chapter initiatives, they kind of layer on top of layer on top of layer, and they build goodwill. It's like a train. A train takes a little time to get started. We started in 1981. We're building up steam, Ray. We're raising money. With our alumni base, I think we can forget about raising $300,000 a year. We can raise $1 million a year. What does that do for you? Well, that means bigger scholarships, bigger leadership events, more support for the fraternity, more chapters and everything else, and then also more requests from you when you guys transition from undergraduate leaders to alumni leaders, right? And that's our next slide. Let's go to the next one. So, document our chapter history. I think that makes sense. Let's go to the next one. Support. The fraternity and the foundation are aligned with an objective to preserve and promote our history, the legacy that we leave to future brothers. Fraternity will help the foundation coordinate the documentation process for active and inactive chapters by working with district governors, chapters, and alumni presidents. Whatever school we were at before, if it's appropriate, we want to be back at those schools and help them out. The foundation of the fraternity, through their contacts, will identify brothers who can help with this process, and then we're going to put all our resources online. Let's go to the next one. Okay, these are all websites. Maybe you want to take a picture of this. By the way, all chapter histories, all chapters will eventually have this type of moniker, okay? So Theta Beta is obviously Theta Beta, but if you're Epsilon Beta, whatever the chapter is, we're going to put all your histories up there. We want you to submit that so we can make sure that brothers have a place to go. Only appropriate pictures, please. So you can email it to heritage@apdfoundation.com or .org. Let's go to the next one. Your chapter history. We're asking for you to launch your chapter history. Select a chairman, send their name and contact information to Paul Zammit, or you can email your district governor, whoever that happens to be, or at Heritage. Paul will hold periodic static reviews, collectively or individually. The first one planned is for mid-February. Hopefully this is happening, okay, guys? We just need a little bit of help to kind of get this thing up and running. Once something is running, then your successors are just going to have to update it with more information. Let's go forward. Other resources. The history of Alpha Phi Delta is important to us. The Ecce Signum, obviously the new one just came out for those of us who are at the National Council meeting. Military Brothers website, Century Society, the chapter histories, chapter composites, that's pretty cool. You can get a bunch of pictures, give it to Jimmy. He can make a nice big wall poster for your houses or whatever. The Fratelli d'Onore, our brothers of significance, and then Chapter Eternal. You guys know what Chapter Eternal is, right? Every year we induct 200, 300, 400 new brothers. Every year we lose 200, 300, 400 brothers, okay? We want to honor those guys. We want to make sure we have a necrology online. Let's go to the next one. Introducing and okay, I went over this. I won't bore you guys any more than I already have as I wind down. Let's go to the next one. We're going to match up to $500. How can you support the fraternity? Consider making an annual donation of $19.14. We try to make a play on when we were founded, right? Yes, this is the point. Submit your pictures. Submit your application. Be compliant with whatever. If one of our officers contacts you and says, hey, we'd like to find out what's going on at St. John's, etc., respond. We're going to help each other out. Once you guys graduate, I'd like your support, okay? I want you to send some money back there. You guys who are big-time earners, you could start right away. You guys who are not, we'll give you 5 years and then we're going to harass you because it's about those who follow, okay? So now, we want to become a member of your alumni club. I discussed that. If there's an existing scholarship that resonates with you, you can donate to it. There are a lot of brothers that have done some wonderful things. The New York Alumni Club donated money, renamed our scholarship in the honor of Al Palazzo, one of our past national presidents. He died 10 years ago. He was Joe APD. We want it to resonate him. We want to make sure that new brothers know the name Al Palazzo. Maybe there's a brother or a leadership event that resonates with you. You can do the same thing. Become a member of the Omega Society. You guys know the last letter in the Greek alphabet, right? Omega. The Alpha and the Omega. The Alpha Society is when you graduate and you make your first donation to the foundation. The Omega Society is your last gift, okay? We have a lot of brothers who are putting them. Just yesterday, I got fax brothers from the paperwork that put us in his will for $75,000, okay? We have probably $3.5 million in the foundation right now. We have, I think, over $3 million of already pre-announced gifts, but that number could easily be $50 million, okay? It's going to be like a hockey stick, like I mentioned before. Think about how you might utilize your estate to support APD. Not right now, in the future. Process is simple. Participate in the Sunshine Tour. Now you guys are in school, but in the future, APD, you guys know the triangle for APD. Am I doing good on time? I have 1 minute? Yeah. Okay. You guys know the triangle of APD, right? This is my own little analogy. APD is strong enough where? Chicago to Boston to DC. You know our triangle, right? We're outside in Colorado. We're also in Florida. But the internal scholarship, the internal triangle, is basically Pittsburgh to New York to Philadelphia, okay? Now, we want to grow. I mentioned before about chapters. Especially we want to grow within that area, and we want to grow on the fringes of that area as we can go forward. But what ends up happening is there's a lot of brothers who are down in the Sunshine State, and they want to get a little love too. So we do events down for them. You should be surprised at how many emails I get back, and they say, I'd love to participate. I won't be in Naples on Thursday, but I live in New Jersey. What are you guys doing for events up here for us? I said, well, that's why we have all these alumni clubs all over the place. And I send them a list of the North Jersey Alumni Club, or the Jersey Shore Alumni Club, or the New York Alumni Club, etc. So there's opportunities that you guys want to participate as well as once you graduate. Take advantage of it. And if you retire to a place after college, not retire, but go back, if there's no alumni club in Texas, guess what? Maybe you're going to be the president of that one. You guys with me about that? Hello? Yes. Let's go next. Now, thank you. Okay, you guys have any questions for me about the foundation? Say it sounds great. What can I do? Pictures. Apply for scholarships. Send in your notes. Be compliant with what's going on, and keep us in your thoughts once you graduate school, because we can do 20 years from now, we'll be giving, probably not me, but probably somebody else, maybe one of you guys who'll be serving on the foundation, will be giving a talk talking about how we have a $30 million endowment, and we're giving out $1 million in scholarships, and we're doing all sorts of great stuff. Because I tell you one thing, we're a national fraternity, we're not one of the biggest, okay? But we are pound for pound hitting above our weight. I'll leave you this one last thing. One of the last things I did as chairman of the foundation was I contracted with an outside agency to take a look at our fundraising. We were coming up on the 100-year anniversary in 2014, and we wanted to do something special. This group, we spent them $50,000, and they studied our alumni group. They studied where we are. They studied our participation. They studied our fundraising tracks. And they said two things. Number one, we're shocked that you guys still exist. Most fraternities never made it past World War II. Okay? Because all the undergraduates, they went off to go fight the war. A lot of them didn't come back. Whoever did come back, they didn't necessarily go back to school. They went to start their families. A lot of fraternities failed in the 1940s. We're surprised you even exist past that. Number two is, you are the only all-volunteer organization for a national fraternity. We're shocked about that. Number three is, we looked at your participation of donors, and we looked at your participation of the summer convention. You guys end up getting 10 times the amount that some other national fraternities get to participate. So sometimes we go and we say, oh, I wish we had more guys at the National Council meeting, or oh, I wish we had more guys at the summer convention. We're hitting above our weight. There's something special about our group. You guys feel that? Let's remember those brothers that follow. Remember your fraternity, remember your chapter, remember your foundation. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you later.